What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Sublimely Elegant here as always, and welcome to another Doom Builder viewer map review, except this one's a bit different. It's actually entirely different. This one is sent in to me by Spunk Mayo, which has to be the most interesting name I've seen so far. But rather than be like a map, as one would play, like if you were to, say, download Doom 1 and play E1M1, it's not like that. What this is a map that they had compiled as they were watching my video tutorials. And I think that this would be actually a really interesting thing to go through. They did notify me that this is what that is, so I took a little bit of time to look at it ahead of time, and I've already noticed some things that I can, point out, and some things that I enjoy about this. So, we will head in, clear out all the monsters, and see what little things they have in store for us, shall we? Play. There we go. Alright, so. We already... That's actually cool. I've never played... I never opened it in-game. It has custom music. That's actually really cool. But... oh, I don't want to mute it, but I'm going to turn it down. So the first thing we notice when we load in, this is what appears to be a little bed, which is very cute. And then you'll also notice textures and their alignment. Now, this is something that is rampant in this map. I guess you could call it, is these misaligned textures as well. There's not really any thing to define the very edge of the door besides the door itself, which doesn't look good. It's not... you're not really wrong in doing it that way, but it definitely looks better if you were to, say, put something on the edges. We've immediately run into a Hall of Mirrors effect. Don't know what that's all about. I'm guessing that was supposed to be a button. I don't know, maybe if they were using Doom 1 resources alongside. And actually, since this isn't a real map, I'm going to turn on mouse look for this so I can actually look around a bit. So, yeah, it appears as if that was supposed to be a button. Oh, this is the button to open this door. Okay, I see. So they're already using a little bit of logic in that. Let's clear out these foes here. We have a little story told with the dead Marine. I enjoy that very much. And you'll also notice that we have some really nice blockage kind of going on. Like part of the ceiling had fallen through. I also enjoy that. And then a couple more rooms. Okay, this one has a computer on it. So maybe these are not buttons, but useful terminals that each person has. What looked like the name of the map was, there's a switch for sure, was Just Not Your Day. So it's possible that alludes to something. As to what it would be alluding, I do not know. Perhaps this is some form of... whoa. That's interesting. Some form of hospital, considering all the little rooms with beds. Now, this is another thing I noticed again. It's more of the same, but it's just the texturing isn't... oh, I cannot stand still. The texturing isn't smooth. It's quite jarring. It's very obvious that it's not been smoothed out. And it's something on this small of a scale would be very difficult to do, because if we go on this side, you can see they kind of tried. So I'm going to give them credit for that part. This part does look like they did try to align the textures a bit better, but it just fell through as far as the other side goes, because the surface area of that is so small. So that is noticed. Good use of computers going on in the walls. And then we have this nice little crack. Now, I thought this was particularly cool. Just a little area that you can see into. I don't like how dark it is. It's a very stark contrast of lighting from the hallway to in there. And you'll also notice that there is actually a light ray coming off of this. As you can see, the shadow right along the wall there, the roof, going back into it, so it is casting a shadow. This light has a very large radius, viewing angle, I suppose you could call it. We also have some stuff going on the outside, and then we come up to a little cafeteria type area. Come on. So we've got the cafeteria with little like water bottles on the tables. Very neat little detail. It's cheesy, but I like it. And this is what I can only assume is a pool table. A neat use of the grass texture. So you can see that there's obviously some nifty creativity going on in this person's mind. Pretty generic little shelves with some stuff on it. Little flickering there and a shotgun so I can get a little upgrade, which is nice, as well as the center pillar. You can notice they have some slightly detailed lighting as well going on. The lights aren't everywhere, just along the two edges. Oh. I don't know how I opened that actually at all. Must have been some trigger somewhere. I wish it was a little brighter in there so I could actually kind of see what was going on. And then we have a little closet there, it would seem. Let's move on to the next area. Some health. Ah! The buttons seemed to open that. Strange. Okay, we can move on here. And we can see that they were doing a lot more work with lighting and detail as far as like texture work goes for, you know, kind of making chamfered edges. Or wait, would you call that chamfered? No, I don't think you would. Making this style of wall, and then the way with the having the lights actually goes very dark into the corners, so it kind of like dims off. Very nice effect. And that, I guess, could just be like a little pool, huh? A little water thing. I don't actually know if there's anything else to really look at besides that. Let's check out here. Oh, yes, yes, yes. In a little outside area. Now, whoa. What is going on here? Okay, so... Oh. I think I see what that was. I think that was a waterfall, and it was glitching the fuck out, is what was going on there. Which had a nice secret. Very cool. Alright, I like that. And you can see this is kind of their attempt at an outside area, and then the thing I'd have to say to this is the unevenness of the top of the outside area is jarring, as well as the textures again are being misaligned. Good use of the multi-textures though, and the layering to give a bit of depth, but I would honestly have to say this area is a pretty janky. There's also a very quick difference between the wall and of the building and the outside area, and that's hard to get away from. I can't give points away for that because that is really hard to deal with. That sudden change from when you want it to be not outside and outside, because there's no real easy way to do that as far as the engine limitations are concerned. Again, we have a little misaligned texture there, something that could be worked on very easily. All the doors appear to be working, and none of the door tracks move at all, so that is very good that they checked that. I'm just going to run back through again. The use of the slightly miscolored... Oh, missed my little friend there. Of the slightly miscolored texture. Great use of that. Well, great use of the texture. Why you would have a secret entrance to get from this side to the other side is beyond me. But it's nice that I was able to at least figure that out, because that kind of setup can be quite frustrating if the player has to be that keenly aware of what their surroundings are. Especially when you consider that it's a game about fast-paced, brutal action where you're supposed to be, you know, constantly on the run, trying to kill things, you know, oh my god, I'm gonna die, kind of shit, and you can't really be looking at like, oh, this texture is slightly different. Perhaps if I press against it, it will lead me to the next part of the map. For secrets, yeah, you could do that, but if you need to be that aware to continue the map, not a good use of it. A lot of people would be pretty mad, I would imagine, about finding out that that's what they missed in order to get to the exit of a level. And then down here we have some stairs. Very small stairs. They look nice though, so I'll give them the texture work of the stairs. We also have use of some grating there, a little bit of pillars going around, nice little door, which leads to this room, which I can only assume is the button for the exit. And this is true. Now, I believe there might have been... Yep. So now, this is what's really cool. This was actually sort of a elevator, is why it has this design. Which is why I didn't point anything out, because normally a design like that would look absolutely hideous, but it transfers really nicely to the second level. I really appreciate that little touch. So now we're in a different area, and you can see that they went a lot more gloomy with it, a lot more brown, and a good use of the acid puddles. And they also have a little bit of bars here. Not the particular texture I would use for barring, but it's not a bad use. We got a computer, which is what's obviously giving off a majority of, or not a majority, but a decent amount of light. The majority probably comes from those light rays over there. And then on this side, we just come across a wall. And I'm pretty sure that's all that this map has in store. But still, a very neat little experimental dealio going on, and it was pretty fun to go through. So, I really love the elevator idea, though. That was pretty clever. And the MIDI music is also good. I can't confirm where or who or, you know, what that might be. I can't confirm if Spunk Mayo himself, his or herself, had made those MIDI tracks. That would be really neat, but there's a point of me that, a part of me that kind of doubts it. You'd have to ask him, and I'm sure they'll comment on whether or not that was the case. But it was a neat little idea. I could show you the outdoor area with a bit more light as well here. Again, suffers from the problem of the stacking, and of course there's easy fix. Bam. As long as you use your auto-align textures, it typically does a lot of the work pretty damn well for you. This area got a little bit of janky. Or actually, even that didn't. It's just like creviced in weird. So yeah, no, that literally fixed it. I pressed one key and it fixed this entire room. Something you gotta watch out for. I assume that these ones are literally just too small to properly do that too. But no, even though I did that, it improved it significantly. So yeah, you're going to want to take a lot more care to be auto-aligning your textures in areas where you don't quite remember, and also using your upper and lower pegging properly when you come across setups that don't work. In fact, this just looks like a actual problem. Fixing that would be to... How would you fix that? Let me... Auto-align? No. Now I'm just fucking up his map. So this one's a bit tricky to get rid of. I've dealt with that setup now and then quite a few times, so I can understand that all auto-aligning isn't always going to be the fix, but to know that there's a problem and not really put too much work into trying to fixing it can hinder you in the long run. It's easier to just kind of keep up on that stuff as you see it crop up, rather than saying balls to the wall and fuck it. And I realize this is just a test map somebody threw up together while watching my tutorials, so obviously there's lots of grains of salt and shit involved in reviewing such a map. Not even completely reviewing, more so just kind of looking at it and kind of explaining the things as I see them, which I guess is kind of a review, but now I'm rambling, and this was in fact a waterfall. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for sending me this. Very interesting insight into what people are taking away from my videos. Have a good day.